Thank you for joining us today, and it's great to have your company. It's Darren here from Cloud9 at our HQ studio, and today we're diving into the world of buying your dream home here on the Costa del Sol in Spain, and talking all things finance. Joining us is Mark Elliott de Lama from Fluent Finance Abroad, a true expert when it comes to Spanish mortgages. We'll be chatting about what happens after you find your perfect Spanish property and what to expect when it comes to getting a mortgage here. Mark's here to guide us through the process, share insider tips, and maybe bust a few myths along the way. So grab a coffee and let's find out how to turn those Spanish property dreams into reality. Mark, it's great to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Darren. It's a real pleasure to be here in the studio.
It's great, isn't it? We're here.
It's wonderful.
It's a great place to chat, and I'm really pleased that you've come along because I've known you for years, but maybe some of our viewers, maybe some of the clients of Cloud9, and of course Fluent Finance as well, will have known you. But let's find out a little bit about who you are, Mark. Tell us, if you can, without being too long.
Okay, well, I'm Mark Elliott de Lama. I'm originally from the UK, from London. I'm a qualified mortgage expert, both qualified in the UK, but I'm also now a fully Bank of Spain registered mortgage expert, registered, as I mentioned, registered with the Bank of Spain. So for the last 25 years, I've dedicated my working life to understand how mortgages work.
Mm. What inspired you to get into the Spanish mortgage world, if you like?
Well, the inspiration really was I was working as a mortgage broker in London, which gave me a great grounding. But I'm actually half Spanish. My mother is from Madrid. I speak the language fluently, and I was very lucky to be offered a job to come and work in Spain, and of course also to become a mortgage broker here. So that was the inspiration, and that was 20 years ago, and I haven't looked back.
Wow. Yeah, and the company's gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, so I came with another company, but 2 years later, I set up Fluent Finance Abroad in 2006, and hopefully we'll be celebrating 20
It was a couple of years off.
in a couple of years.
Wow, 20 years.
That'd be
Goodness.
amazing.
Yeah, exactly. What's the most rewarding part about helping people secure a mortgage in Spain?
I think being a mortgage broker, no matter where you are in the world, whether you're helping first-time buyers or you're helping our clients who are investing for second residences, is the fact that you're helping them realize a dream. First-time buyer will always want to own a home that they can call their own and use that as a stepping stone for their life journey. But we're quite lucky where we're helping fairly wealthy individuals buy the dream of owning a place in the sun, and that's just it's just wonderful because it's not only them that you're helping, it's their families.
And it's very life-changing, isn't it, for the individual or the family or the couple?
It is life-changing. It doesn't matter where in the world you're from. You want to come and live in Spain and enjoy the culture, the weather and everything else, the history of our Spain. And it also, it's a big bragging point from when you're back home, isn't it? I'm just off to my villa or my apartment in Spain. See you later.
Yeah, for sure. So we get at Cloud9, and of course with Fluent Finance as well, we get clients from all over the world, from the US to the United Kingdom to Scandinavia, in fact, everywhere in the world. What are the key differences between mortgages elsewhere compared to mortgages in Spain?
Okay, so other parts of the world, the mortgage market will probably be a bit more fluid, a bit more flexible, a bit quicker. Spain got hit hard, pretty hard with that, very hard, in fact, actually, no point mincing words, with the credit crisis, and we're still kind of recovering from that. Spanish banks are quite slow. They're very traditional. They like to analyze everything. So the core difference is don't assume that things are going to operate in Spain the way they do in your home country. They do work differently. Get prepared, speak to an expert, find out what are the differences, and then work with the system.
What do you say some of the key or some of the main misconceptions are, would you say, when people come to you for a Spanish mortgage to what they used to?
Okay, so imagine you're, from the States or from the UK or anywhere, you walk into your local bank or you go and see your local mortgage broker. You're a resident of that country, that you have a history in that country. Well, the first thing is you have no history in Spain. So you're starting fresh. No one knows you. The bank, you have no credit report. There's no credit score here. So you have to embrace that and say, look, okay, I understand that you don't know who I am. Okay, so I need to disclose everything. And it will take time to give the banks the confidence that you are who you say you are a good bet. And that's where hopefully we come in.
So it's a question of being patient really as well, and just allowing a bit of time.
Yeah.
Not to have it instant. Because we live in that instant gratification world, don't we? Everything, I want it now, I want it now. And actually the UK and other parts of the world, it's all kind of digital, isn't it? Here it's like going back in time, isn't it? In a nice way. You know, you've got to go to the notary and things like that.
Yeah.
So allow a bit of time, would you say as well? Expect it.
Allow a little bit of time. Also understand that you are asking for a bank to co-invest with you. So you're asking them to invest in your idea, and that needs to be understood.
Sure.
Whereas in your own country, you probably could demand certain things. Over here, you have to be a little bit more subtle about it, I think.
Sure. Okay. So let's say I find my dream property in the sun. What's the first thing I need to be thinking about when it comes to finance?
You've already found a property, you've agreed a price with a vendor, and now you're against the clock, right?
Yes. So we flip it.
Yeah, if you want a stress-free experience, the idea, because knowing
Does it happen a lot, by the way? Do people come in and go, I've got the property, I need the finance?
all the time.
Right. So that's a key bit of advice though, isn't it? Get the financing first.
Do your homework on the finances. Money talks, as we know. And if you're not prepared from the money side of it, don't be surprised that you may fail. The vendor may not accept your offer if it's subject to mortgage. It may take so long because your situation is complicated for whatever reason. You may get paid lots in dividends or something. That the vendor may end up selling the property to someone else who is ready.
It's a good point. Very good point, isn't it? And quite often when you're in that position, there's a little bit more power as well to the buyer, isn't there?
Well, you're ready. You're prepared. Your cash. You've got you can act quickly,
right,
because you have the mortgage ready and you have the finance ready.
So how does the mortgage approval process work, and how long does it usually take, Mark?
Okay, so if you were to come to me and say, let's have a discovery conversation, we would do that. You would send me some documentations to back up the conversation. We would prepare that. And then if you wanted to actually get a formal offer from risk departments, we would then send your case into a number of different lenders. To get your first formal offer should take 10 working days. And that can last for about 3 months.
So Mark, here the market's really strong. It's a seller's market. It is different structure to the UK, isn't it? We don't have chains really here, do we?
No, we don't. It's basically you and the seller, and there's no one in between. So there isn't a number of different transactions going on. And that's why it's so important, I think, to get prepared early with your finance. Because if you do cut a deal with a vendor, the vendor doesn't really, all they want to do is sell the house. Yeah. And the quicker you can sell it, the quicker you can complete, well, that's music to a vendor's ears, and it's not the vendor's fault if you're not ready.
Yeah, so the key thing, be ready. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk mortgages. What type of mortgages are available? Now, we've heard about fixed rate, variable rates, things like that. What can we expect in Spain?
Okay, pretty much what you're used to. Some banks will offer you long-term fixed rates. Some banks will offer you medium-term fixed rates. They all offer variable rates. So it really is dependent on the client's wishes. Now, we got a lot of clients who are fairly wealthy, who say to us, look, I only want the mortgage for 2 or 3 years. And then I'm expecting to sell something in some shares or a property. I'd like to pay it off. You probably wouldn't want to be on a long-term fixed rate if that is your plan. Now, the idea would be to listen to what the plan is and then design something with one of the banks to actually fit it. So we can offer any type of mortgage, really: fixed, variable, long-term fixed, flexible, that you can make overpayments. It really is down to the client.
I guess the key thing about using a company like yourself, Mark, is that you've got your eyes on all the deals, all the rates, And that's one of the key benefits, isn't it, really, of coming to you as opposed to just going to a bank, one bank, and that's it.
Going to one bank, in my opinion, although it can work, don't get me wrong, but there are risks attached to that. The risks are you go to one bank and that bank may or may not give you the mortgage that you want. They may or may not, they may give you the mortgage, but they may not give you what they originally said that they would. That happens a lot here, right? So they may promise you 60, 70%, but end up only giving you 50. That's no good. You promised me 70. Or they may promise you a certain rate or a certain deal, and then when it's crunch time, they may say, oh no, things have changed because head office has said something else.
Yeah.
Now, going to a broker, that doesn't happen because a broker, or it shouldn't happen, if a good broker will always have plan B, plan C. So if one of the lenders goes a bit wrong for whatever reason, then, your deal is not at risk.
Okay, let's talk deposits then. What can we expect as a resident, or even more so, a non-resident? What can we look at putting down?
Okay, so residents are Spanish taxpayers. They've been Spanish taxpayers for a minimum of 1 year. So you're looking at a 20% deposit, bog standard. If you're a really strong profile, you can get more. You can get a higher loan to value than that. Non-residents, it does depend on where you're from. So if you're from the EU, you're quite likely to get a 70% mortgage. If you're a very strong profile from the US, for example, you can still get 70%, 30% deposit. But on average, for an average profile, you should really start doing your calculations between 60% loan to value. That's safe. Okay, 40% deposit.
Now, speaking of all these costs, we've experienced, and maybe you have as well, Mark, where people come in and get the mortgage, or they got some cash as well. They don't realise that there's buying costs involved, isn't there, as well? And they can be quite high compared to what we're used to as well. I mean, what we're talking about here, would you say?
On average, obviously break it down. You need to break it down. But on average, on a resale, we would always advise our clients to factor in 11.5% to 12% on top to cover absolutely everything. Legal fees, taxes, notary fees, land registry. On a new build, we would, because the taxes are more expensive, you're looking at 10% VAT and 1.25% for the stamp duty. So we always factor in 15%. Now, if it comes in a little bit lower than that, then we've done our job, and that's fine. So yeah, the costs in Spain need to be factored in, and that should be discussed early on. Again, because this is just maths, isn't it? It's just numbers.
Sure. And what's the best bit of advice you could give for anybody looking to buy in Spain as a non-resident?
Best bit of advice is, I would say, is do your homework. Basically, if you are considering buying cash for whatever reason, great, go ahead, do that. If you feel that your cash budget isn't going to get you what you really, really desire, then obviously seek some advice or some free advice from a good quality mortgage consultancy. And that's what we're here to do, to give people information to make the right decision. Sure. I'd go further than that. I'd say you need a good, really good, trusted real estate agent that's been there, done it, worn the t-shirt, a good mortgage finance guy. You need a great lawyer that's going to look after your interests and actually do the conveyancing properly, do the research on the property. And also, really and truly, you do need some good quality tax advice. Those are the 4 key elements. If you've got a good team around you that really have your interests at heart, then investing in Spain can be a very, very successful.
And what you want, I'm not saying some people enjoy it. I think the majority get a bit stressed. They want an easy ride with this, as easy as possible, don't they?
A soft landing.
Yeah, that's it. A smooth transaction, if possible, as smooth as possible.
One thing I will say, look, Spain, the Spanish real estate market is not regulated. Okay, there are agents and then there are agents. Do your homework with them. Don't assume that everything's going to be hunky-dory. It can be complex. So do your research and get the right team around you, because it can be amazing. It can be an amazing experience, but it can also be not so amazing.
What's the one piece of advice you wish every buyer knew before applying for a mortgage in Spain?
One piece of advice. Well, I said, please do not assume that it's going to go the same way as it does for you in your home country. It doesn't. It goes differently. Again, you're unknown here. The way the cultures is different. The competition is less. It's almost like going on a date, your first ever date. When you go on your first ever date, you make sure you smell nice, you look nice, you brush your teeth and everything. I've got to do that here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That's one way of looking. Oh, the best one. Yeah. Okay. Now, we spoke about professionals having the right team. Of course, we've got Cloud9. Of course, we've been here for 23 years. We've got you guys. How can people reach out to you if they want to know more?
Well, the easiest way is through the website, which is www.fluentfinanceabroad.com, or you can send us an email at info@fluentfinanceabroad.com. Give us a call.
And you've got some offices in handy locations as well. You've got San Pedro. You've also got down in Sotogrande as well, which is brilliant. So people can come in as well on the appointment.
We'd love to see people face to face. We've invested into the physical office because we find it's really important that people can actually poke us.
Okay, and finally, Mark, can you share with us a memorable success story of somebody finding their dream home here in Spain?
I mean, there's so many, but the one that shouts out is a lady from New York, interior designer from New York. She, bless her, she was trying to buy a place for 5 years, and she was being sent to different banks by herself. The lawyer was trying to help for whatever reason, real estate agent. And then after 4.5 years, she found Julian and our company. And within 3 months, she had a house. It took her 5 years to actually buy a house. 5 years. Yeah, and she's an amazing woman. And she shouldn't have had to go through that pain.
Isn't that unbelievable when you hear stories like that?
It's not.
Well, you got to do it the right way.
It's not that extreme.
Okay, so key takeaways we're talking about here, I would say probably, expect it's going to be different here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Embrace
that difference.
Embrace the difference. You might have to wait a little bit, but actually the buying process compared to the UK, because there's no chain, it can be quicker.
Really quick.
But the mortgage process can take a bit of time. The documents that you're going to need, the usual things, the IDs, the passports, your tax record and things like that. Yeah, the usual stuff like that.
Get your NIE, get a good power of attorney with a good reputable lawyer. Look, it's the 5 Ps, isn't it, Darren? The proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Absolutely.
And there you go.
I think I got different words for that. But well, there we go.
I'm missing one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good. So, Mark, if we could just sum it up, really, what would you say?
Go for it. But do your homework. Be prepared. Cover all your angles, and work with some good people, good professionals, and you'd be fine.
I think that's great, isn't it? Get the right people around you. Get the right lawyer. Get the right mortgage advice. Broker like yourselves, get the right agent to help you and guide you through every step of the way. And I think that's the key thing, isn't it? And also, things will be different here in Spain, but it's all part of the journey. We've been there.
Yeah.
You've certainly been there. I've been there. And, it's a great journey once you're here and you get through it and you're living this life. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Well, the complaints we get, isn't it? And I'm sick of the rat race. I want to have a bit more of a relaxed lifestyle. Well, embrace that because it is more relaxed. You're not going to click your fingers and you're going to have your mortgage offer within a couple of days. It's not like that. You've got to embrace it, and we're here to help you do that.
Yeah, sure. Have you got a good work-life balance, Mark?
I've got 2 small children, I'll say it's an amazing work.
Yeah. Do you get time on the golf course? Is that for you, golf, or do you do anything like that?
No, I've got 2 small children.
That's it.
No, forget that. No, so I spend a lot of time with the family, and that's out over here because you're outdoors a lot of the time with the children. That it'd be different if I was back in London, stuck indoors because it was raining with 2 kids. You'd go mad, wouldn't you? It's
we're very lucky.
We are very lucky. Yeah.
Mark, super to have your company. Thanks ever so much. It's great to see you. Really good. And thanks for all your advice. And if anyone does want to know a little bit more about how Mark and, of course, Cloud9 can help, just reach out on the details below and check out the socials. And we look forward to catching you on the very next show.